It's live. Check this out, please. On your phone. Jazakallah khair. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We reach hadith number 40. Inshallah, we're coming up on the end of the book of volume 2. And hopefully all the brothers and the sisters, the watchers, the disciples, the viewers have been making a review of all of the previously mentioned and explained hadiths. Memorizing what you can, retaining what you can, and it's no way or no reason for you to finish a book without having a general and thorough understanding of it. And if you finish a book or series or course and you don't have a general but thorough, relatively thorough grasp of it, then that means you need to read the book again. Or you need to take the course again. Right? Like a movie, a film. I didn't get that. It doesn't make any sense. So you watch it again. And then just by the sheer force and power of repetition, oftentimes the mind works. And we explained this in 40 Hadith on Seeking Knowledge, Volume 1. The narration of Anas radiallahu anhu is that whenever the Messenger of Allah says, كَانَ إِذَا تَكَلَّمَ بِكَلِمَةٍ عَادَهَا ثَلَاثًا حَتَّى يُفْهَمَ عَنْهُ أو كما قال رضي الله عنه. When the Prophet ﷺ would say something, he would repeat it 3 times so the people would understand. So the power and the magic of repetition, repeating, and repeating. And oftentimes, repeating something doesn't just solidify the information, but you may miss something. Or I didn't get it at all, so let me just, not the question, not break this down, just read it again, listen to it again, watch it again, right? Tayyib. So therefore, that's our advice with regards to talab, how to seek knowledge. You shouldn't finish a book. People ask the question, how do I know I need to move on? How do I know to go to the next matan, to go to the next level? You need to memorize what you're supposed to memorize. If it's a book in which the whole book is to be memorized and you're a little choppy or sloppy, then do it again. Or maybe a book in which everything isn't meant to be memorized, but parts of it. So you can't go on to the next level or the next method, the next book until you've memorized مَا يَنْبَغِي حِفْظُهُ. And secondly, all of the principles that are supposed to be taken and adapted and adopted from that book, you're supposed to have them. And last but not least, you need to have a general understanding of the book from cover to cover. The intention of the book, the goal of the book, the aim of the book, so on and so forth. Not every single point, not every single line, not every single explanation, every single point of difference of opinion. So these are guidelines and these are principles for successfully studying disciplism. So the golden question, how do I know it's time to move on to a bigger book? How do I know I need to go to a different sheikh? How do I know that it's now time to go overseas and leave America? With those 3 points. You've outgrown the place. Right? A masjid, many people, they make a mistake. And alhamdulillah, it's a tremendous virtue in buying a masjid or building a masjid. That's not the discussion. But we're talking about money, millions of dollars being involved. People begging for money, raising money, owing people money, right? Paying the bills, keeping the place maintained. Many people, they jump into a bigger masjid, they get a bigger building, which they actually don't need. The crowd is only needed on Jumu'ah. That's the only time in which there's no space. But Monday through Thursday, Friday morning up until Jumu'ah is more than enough space. It's not time to get another masjid yet and take on that huge financial debt and burden. But every single day, every salah is packed. There's no space, there's no parking. It's uncomfortable. The children, the women, the sisters, the brothers. Now you realize we've out what? It's time to move on now. So that is the manhajiyah, the proper methodology with regards to the books and the mutun, the small books, is that you know that it's time to move on when you've outgrown the book. I got it, I mastered it. Now, that doesn't mean that a person is to remain stagnated. It doesn't mean that you're to be scared and afraid of moving forward. Nor are we encouraging and promoting matan worship, ibadatul mutun. As many students fall victim to of worshiping the matan, studying it 50 million times over and over again for 20 years. You have to move forward. It's just a matan. Alright? So balance and moderation. Wallahu ta'ala. Hadith number 40 says, narrate Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, كَمْ مِنْ صَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعِ وَكَمْ مِنْ قَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ قِيَامِهِ إِلَّا السَّهَرِ. It says, don't be a loser during this month. That's the chapter heading. Don't be a loser during this month. And the hadith that Abu Hurairah narrated, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, and one who fasts gets nothing from his fasting but thirst. And many a one who prays during the night gets nothing from his prayers but wakefulness. And this hadith has been collected by Imam Ahmed. Don't be a loser during this month. I.e., you fasted the whole month, you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're tired, you sacrificed your sleep, you sacrificed your time, and you didn't get any spiritual benefit. Staying in prayer at night didn't make you a better person. It didn't make you a better Muslim. It didn't stop you from fahsha and munkar. And you just stood up at night. Don't be someone who fasted this month and it's just something on the surface. That's it. It's nothing. It's barely skin deep. It doesn't make you a better Muslim, a better worshiper. It doesn't make you a more consistent worshiper. Rather, I'm going to go right back to my bad habits the moment Ramadan's over. The day of the Eid, I'm going to go right back to my bad habits, my poor habits. You lost a lot during this month. And one of the most essential needs of the human being is eating, drinking, and sleeping. Is this not the case? It's one of the most essential things, eating, drinking, and sleeping. So therefore, for 30 days, 29 days, oftentimes you didn't eat. A large part of your 24 hours you didn't drink. You lost sleep, but for the wrong reasons. You didn't walk away with any real spiritual benefit. So don't allow that to happen. And one of the ways that this happens and takes place is that we just look at the surface of Ramadan, the tradition, the formalities, iftar, suhoor, and then that's it. And oftentimes we promote this image to the non-Muslims. We give them dawah. The first thing people think about Ramadan, non-Muslim, iftar. That's it. But it's deeper than that. You're supposed to fast from sin. I have a cursing problem. I have a foul mouth. I have an anger problem. I have an attitude problem. I'm sarcastic. I'm always getting smart with people. I always get an attitude problem. So I have 29 days to change that. I have 29 days to work on my poor akhlaq. Right? In which instead of using the bleep word or the ... word, I'll change my vocabulary. I'll control myself. I'll try to stop cursing like a sailor. I'll try to stop being rude to people, so on and so forth. But the whole month comes and goes, and then on the day of the Eid, I'm cursing at my children, I'm cursing at my wife, I'm cursing at somebody in traffic, road rage. You're a loser. What did you benefit from, during this month? Except for hunger, thirst, and wakefulness. So don't allow that to take place. And as we said before, we'll say again, one of the ways that we can prevent this from happening is to realize Ramadan is much more than just the traditional, cultural, iftar, suhoor, tarawih, so on and so forth. It's deeper than that. It's more than that. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Hadith number 40 is very similar to hadith number 37. It was also narrated by Abu Hurairah to Imam Ibn Khuzaymah that the Prophet ﷺ said, لَيْسَ الصِّيَامُ مِنَ الْأَكْلِ وَالشُّرْبِ إِنَّمَا الصِّيَامُ مِنَ اللَّغْوِ وَالرَّفَثِ. Fasting isn't just abstinence from food and drink, but instead fasting is abstaining from empty speech and obscene language. And from one thing we learn 10,000 things. Wallahu ta'ala. And in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, Kim. Many a one, many a few, many a man, many a fast, meaning a lot. Rather, oftentimes most people, most of us, is all we want to get. And that's unfortunate. That's a loss. Wallahu ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, that's the end of the book. That's the 40th hadith. Walillah alhamd. On page 92, there is a bonus hadith. Perhaps we'll mention this, maybe we won't. And then after that is an exclusive mufti recipe, a free recipe for berry and flower spiced tea. Elderberry, huh? And then, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and that's the end of the book. Alhamdulillah. Alladhi bi ni'matihi tatimmu salihat. All praises for Allah, who inspired us, who gave us the vision, who gave us the physical strength and power, who gave us righteous brothers and sisters to help us out and to be there for us, and allowing this book to be an idea fermenting in my mind to an actual physical, walking, talking, living organism in the external world. And hopefully, bidnillahi ta'ala, it will remain a means of benefit for the people. I hope it will be placed in my scale of good deeds. May Allah accept it from me and accept it from all of those who assisted and helped out. And inshallah ta'ala, it will be, I hope, a milestone or a landmark or mile marker in the Hadith Renaissance, and a good addition to the Islamic library in English. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And if you don't have a copy, as we said before, make sure you get your copy, inshallah ta'ala, online. It's available on Amazon, as well as the rest of our authored works and a few of our older translated works. Jazakumullahu khairan. Inshallah, we'll stop the stream, start another one for Q&A if there are any questions.